Hello everyone, I'm really pleased to welcome you to the recording of our very first webinar from LumiTRIX. I'm now in the Lumi factory and I can't wait to show you the amazing outdoor video projector we are all so proud of. So what's the agenda today? First, my colleague Pavel from the US is going to show you a little presentation describing more in detail the philosophy of the company, why we started what we do and what the projectors are actually capable of. Then I'm going to take over again and show you in detail the projector itself. This one, the T4 LAZR. And to close the presentation, I'm going to give you more detailed description of our unique software, the Lumiverse. So I'm going to show you some key features, what the software is capable of, and what you can do to create great video mapping. Because this is a recording of the webinar, there is a short Q&A section in the end to answer some of your questions. But please do not hesitate to comment below this video, and I'm going to make sure that I answer all your questions you possibly might have. So over to Pavel now.
Beautiful lines of products. We have the outdoor line, which is absolutely one of its kind. Nobody else has it on the world, and we are super proud of that product. And then we have our indoor line, which is basically a controller. Using a controller where our software runs, you can connect to any projector. So that is what we identify, that is really where we are trying to push the projection mapping as a standard. And all of these tools we build from the hardware and software perspective should allow us and should allow you to be more aggressive with your projects, with the price, and get more and more projection mapping out to the world. So how it then look before LumiTRIX and how it then looks after, and how the technology kind of looks in the practice and what you can do with it. So before LumiTRIX, you had a lot of pieces. You always needed to put it together: casing, staffing, software, projectors, all of the different brands, put it together, and then you were very proud because you had something which worked, you had something which delivered an amazing show. It also usually looks a bit like a little, I would say, a big tent full of very expensive equipment. So after LumiTRIX, we try to integrate it all into one device. So it's the whole process of actually delivering the experience is super streamlined, easy to go, plug and play, and just do it. So with our system, the outdoor one, you have option to set up multiple projectors. It's water resistant, it has remote access, and it's very compact, it's sleek. You can install it like this, just on a pole, and you have two machines which can deliver your show. So what you can do with all of these outdoor projectors, which have such a ease of installation and use, we can use it as a decoration, very sleek, easy to do decoration. Not every time you need to do the whole building, or just for information sharing. We are saying just, especially in days like this, having a very effective way how to communicate with your community is absolutely necessary. You can share stories about historical landmarks or new construction. You can show something which was not there before. But you know what I'm going to tell you guys. You know these products, projects. You work on them regularly, I guess. And you can also have the light as the medium for the communication, but back and forth, because our platform is also interactive. So you can actually have interaction, live interaction with your audience. Well, and then how it looked before LumiTRIX in that indoor world, where our software and the push for projection mapping was not that visible. Well, we know from all the installations and from the projects that this is usually the go-to in a museum environment. You have your artifact, and then you have a lot of screens describing the artifact. So you look at your artifact, you're like, wow, that's an interesting mammoth tusk. And then you look somewhere else to actually read something about the artifact or see how it was before. Well, augmented reality change that approach. And LumiTRIX is trying to really show everybody the possibilities of merging the digital and physical world and use the artifact in the message. Use it as a part of the communication. Don't take it as, oh, here is something we wanted to show you, but forget about it. Look at the TV. That's just not, in our perspective, how it could be delivered. There's so much more you can do with our technology. So this was very short introduction. I hope you get some interesting and new information. And now I would love to hand it over to one and only Daniel Flora, who is right now in LumiTRIX, I would say Lumi Factory. And Danielle will actually introduce the software and hardware. So I will be tuning out. I will be definitely still in discussion. So I will be available, and I will be available even for the Q&A. And yeah, so Danielle, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Pavel, for a great presentation. So let's get started with the projector itself. This is him. This is the T4 LAZR. It's 6,000 ANSI lumens projector. And this one on the tripod with the wheels, we call it Aventar. Then you can have it with a custom-made wall post fixture, which you can see just down there. And let's get into detail with what are the sides of the projector. So just in here, we have the GSM modem, and here is the optical window itself. There is, I think you could see it from an angle. There is the night vision camera, which actually makes the projector capable of doing the scans of the buildings or whatever you want to project on. Then the optical window, there's the projector behind it. And here we have the air filters. So we already say that you need to replace the filter like once a year or so, depending on the conditions, but it's quite withstanding. So on this side we have the air intake window, so the air goes in, cools the projector down, and goes out from the other side. Let's go to the back. So in here there is the power socket, all IP43 certified. So rain, snow, sandstorms, dust storms, wherever the projector still works on. It's weatherproof, waterproof. So these sockets make sure that the water doesn't get in. I'm just going to plug it in straight away, so we can then use it for the demonstration of the software. So it's the Nortec connector. So I think it's pretty common one. Just plug it in. One cable. That's it. That's all we need. So there we go. And now, once we are connected to the electricity, you can see it made a little noise. Now we have these three little LED panels. So there is a button to power it on, there is a status icon, and there is an online icon. Once I press it, the status starts to blink. That means that the projector is connecting to the internet. Once it's done, the Lumi logo starts to shine, and that means that we are online. Last thing on this panel is the LAN socket. So we have two options how to connect the projector to the internet. The first one, which we are using now, is the SIM card. So there is a SIM card slot. Just plug it in and using it as a mobile device, so you use the mobile internet. The second option is the LAN cable, which you plug here. Also, this socket is used when you're connecting more projectors together, which brings me to a thing I wanted to stop for a bit, that the projector is 6,000 lumens. You say, oh well, that's not really much, is it? Well, the thing is that you actually can connect unlimited number of the projectors together. So if, let's say, I want 20,000 ANSI lumens projector, I just put 4 of these together. And you can see that the backplate is sleek and tiny, so no more shipping container size projectors. Last side, we have 2 audio connectors, so left and right. Again, the same IP43 connection. There is the SIM card slot in here, and there is a USB for maintenance. Here is the air outtake socket. So as I said at the beginning, this is our eventer, as we call it, because it's great to be used in the events. It's really easy to move around. And the Lumi logo is now shining. That means that we are online. And I'm just going to move the camera a bit around so you can get a better view of what I'm going to project, and I'm going to show you the Lumiverse. All right, so I have the camera set, and it's going to show you what is being projected on the wall, and at the same time you'll be able to see what I'm doing in the actual Lumiverse software. So let's go to the Lumiverse, which is cloud-based, and there is the first window, which is not showing here anymore, is the login details. So you have your login name and a password which you put in, and it brings you to an overview of all the devices you have access to. So these are all the devices I can control through my desktop. And you can do this as well on your mobile phone or tablet, doesn't really matter. You can control the projector from any device where you can open web browser. So the projector we have here is the 351. So this is the first main page of the Lumiverse. This is how the interface looks like. And here you have the name of the projector you are connected to. This is the scene name we are using, and there are some other things I'm going to show you straight away. So let's go to the first button, and we are going to turn the projector on. So this is how you do it. You just basically click on this little thing and the projector will start. And in the meantime, let's just go there once more. Once the Lumiverse is started, it's going to give you the option to click on it again. And here we have a really important feature of the projector, which is the projection scheduler. And if I click on it, it's going to give me a list of tasks. The projector is preset to turn itself on and off automatically. So you don't have to have it in mind that, oh, I have to start the projection 8 in the evening. You basically set a list of calendar tasks, and the projector knows that it should project at a set time. Also, you can program it in a way that you have created a playlist, and the projector will create the content you want to project. So if I want to create a new one, it's very straightforward. So it's going to play. You can choose if it's every day, or if you have just concrete days you want to show the projection, and to start at and play until. Then, yep, I think that's pretty straightforward. So let's not create a new task, and let's go back to the main page. The second tab here is the scene setting. So if we click on it, you got a range of preset scenes I've already created before. So just to change the scene, you basically just click on the name of the scene. This is my preset scene. I'm just going to show you how to create a new scene. Very straightforward. You basically rename it. So if you want new scene, you just type it there. You can choose a thumbnail for your scene, and you can swap the interactivity setting. This is quite an interesting feature of the Lumiverse, because you can actually allow people to play with the projection from their mobile devices. So you pretty much just put a QR code or a code number on the scene. They type it in their browser, and they can play games, or they can change pictures. They can use quite few features, but let's not skip ahead yet. So this is how you create the scene. So I got this one. If I want to change it, there is of course the setting symbol. So if you click on it, it's going to bring you to the scene setting, or you can even copy the scene. So if you have few similar scenes and you just want to create something little different in each one, you don't have to create everything once again. You just basically copy the scenes. So let's go back to the main screen, and now here is probably the most important feature, which is the editor. So let's open it, and this is how you always going to use the Lumiverse. So this is the area. You can see that it's slightly light blue and dark. So the dark area, it's the projection area. So whatever is here is being projected. What is not, it's not. So let me show you straight away how to do it. So I'm going to put in a picture and a little video loop, so you have a comparison of both. So if sorry, just go back. So here is the add object button. So if I just click on it, it's going to bring me to the library. So these are objects I have preset or pre-installed in the projector. So this is what I put in to play. This is going to be all your content. So whatever you create is going to be shown in here. So I go to a folder which is called My. I put a picture, and you can already see that it's now being projected on the wall. Let's just put the video as well. So again, I go back to the library, and I got a few video loops in here. So I'm going to take this one. I've downloaded online for free. The creator is mentioned in the comments. So now I have the video and the picture, and you could probably see what I was doing already, that just to place the objects on the projection screen, you basically just drag and drop them. So I just hold the left button on my mouse and move the objects around, and you can do exactly the same with the video. So this is very easy, and you can change the position super easily and to the exact space you want to have it on the projecting scene. One more feature once we are here is the changing of the shape. So the video is in some resolution or size. If I want to change it, I just drag the corner and it's changing the size of the video. So if I want to put it all over the screen, I just put it all over the darkened area. Simple as that. The same works for the picture. And this is changing sizes by proportion. If I want to do it a little bit differently, I go to these three dots on top and I click on this button. It says scale now, but now it says map if I click on it, and you see that there are no squares anymore, there are circles, and that means that I can drag each corner separately. So if I want to warp or twist the image to my liking, I can just do it by here. It's really cool for adjusting the perspective. As you can see, I'm projecting on the corner now, so if I want to make the letters correct to the perspective of the corner, I just twist the image here and it's being shown more or less properly. I would have to spend a bit more time on it, but it's the same just for the demonstration. I think it's enough. The same you can of course do with the video. So I'm going to change the shape of the video. I do exactly the same. Now let's go again to the library and let's have a look at what else is available in the software already. So this is the media library. Whatever you create, you upload here, you take it from here. Then this button brings you to the object or app folder, and here are some pre-installed tools you can use. So there is, for example, some preset clocks. If you want to project a clock on a side, it's quite useful sometimes, depends on the projection. You can use it for countdowns. Then there are some tools, so I can change the gradient of the object. I can create the playlist here. There are the QR codes. So as I mentioned before, you can allow people to interact with the projection by giving them the QR code. And there are some other things, but let's not go into much detail, otherwise we would be here for quite a long time. The trigger mark, just to mention, yeah, the projector support trigger points, so you just put a point on the screen and people, by moving in front of the projector, can trigger some action. So you can change the video which is playing or the pictures which are being shown. However, as the outdoor projector we are showing today is meant to be for very large scale projections, so imagine that the screen is about 20 to 15 meters and usually very high. The trigger marks are not as used as for the indoor. Let's go back to the app gallery. So we got some games. Again, you can put a QR code and Tetris on the screen. Let me show you quickly. So you got to just delete this one. So I can just press delete on my keyboard, or I press the red delete object. It's just going to ask me if I'm sure. I say yes, and it's gone. So again, all the objects you place on the darkened screen are movable in a very exactly same way. So I can either change the corners, or I can change the size to the scale. Let's go back. So these are the games. Then we have some social stuff. So we have a little chat which is interactive with people. So there is the Giphy function. Just click on it. It's going to give me the Giphy, and it's not being shown on the screen yet because I haven't chosen what Giphy I want to show. So I just go to this little edit tool, and now I have a search bar. So I just click on, for example, fireplace I was searching for last time, and I click on the one I want to show, and it's already being shown on the screen. Same again, I want to make the fireplace a bit bigger, so I just change the size of the Giphy, and it's being shown there. Another thing there is available is the support of Twitter, or the small Twitter, so you can tweet interactively on the screen, or there is a YouTube app. So I just get a YouTube window, and you see that it's not showing any video. Again, same thing, I click on the edit, it's gonna give me the search bar. I go for kitten, and I got the kitten video compilation, and now it's gonna play on the screen. You see, if I want to change the shape again, same thing, I just make it larger, or I can twist it up to the shape. Or let's say I want a kitten in the window of the house, so I just put it somewhere here. It takes a bit of a time to put it directly, but you get what I mean. Let's go back to the library. So there was the social stuff. There are some weather apps, so you can show weather as well. You can allow people or yourself to write. So if I want to write text here, I just click on the paragraph tool. I say hello webinar, and it's already there in the top corner. Can you see it? So I just change the position a little bit so we can see. And again, you see that the corners are not to perspective. So if I want to do it a bit better, I change the shape, so it's now following the wall. Again, if I go back, you can just do large letters, headlines, paragraph, works quite the same. And there is a painting tool, so you get a square, and if you want to paint, just edit the tool, it gives you a little window, and I am painting on the screen, and it's showing on the wall. You can change the size of the brush, or you can use the eraser, so it's like a painting tool, change the colors. You can even use straight lines, so if I want to do some, I don't know, corners of a building and show some light there. The same thing. You can even export the image to PNG and then use it after as a copy elsewhere. And now let me show you a bit more of the editing tools, which allow you to not just change the shape of the videos, but they allow you to mask things out, change colors, and other really useful things. So I'm just going to make this video a bit larger, so we get a better view of what is going on. Okay, that should be enough. And now I go to the editing tool again, and you see here it gives me some other tools I can use to change the video. So there is a Bezier warp. So if you have, for example, rounded objects you want to project on, you just click on it, it gives you a mesh on the screen, and now you see I have more points I can use to change the shape of the video. So for the round object, I would go for the middle point, I put it somewhere to the side, and I think you should be able to see that the center of the image has changed. I can do the same with the middle point from the top, and it's twisting. You can see that the mesh is being twisted, and the corners up here are getting rounder. So let's put this back. That's a Bezier warp. Another tool, so let's just swap it on. There is a mesh warp, quite similar thing, a bit more precise. You can even use precise mapping tool. So I choose one of these four corners of the video and I go by X and Y axis, and I can either change the number by writing it, or I can just be clicking on these arrows. So if you have some really precise video mapping, you can use this to position all your creations to the scale. Then there is a lock tool. So if I am working in more layers and I want this one to be locked in place, I just click it, it gets locked, and I cannot change it in the editing screen anymore. It's not allowing me. So this is moving the whole video mapping area now. So let's unclick it so I can change it again. I can change the source. So if I want the video or the size of the video staying the same, but I want to change the content, actually I can just change the source, and it's bringing me back to the library. So if I want to change it for something else, I just can, doing it like this. You can set the original size, so if you did a mistake or you don't like what you're doing, you can just go back very quickly, and then you can convert it to playlist to have more videos being played one after another. Then there are the filters. So adding new filter, you can see there are a few very useful tools for video mapping, which you can use to effectively change your creations to your liking on the actual projection. So there is no need to go back to After Effects or whichever program you're using to create videos to do slight changes. So for example, the color mask is basically giving you a mask over your video. So you can see I've just added a color mask. I go here and add it. And now it's the setting of the RGB. So if I want to make the video a bit more yellower, you see that it's targeting the color. There's quite a few settings you can play with to change the color of the projection. Then there is the offset, so you can change where the color mask is actually being shown or not. let me just remove this one so we get the original video. So I've removed the mask and the video is being shown as it was at the beginning. I'm gonna add another. So let's say I want to invert the colors, and now the video is simply inverted. So this is simple tool. There is no settings to it. So let's remove it and show you the last two really cool masks I really like. So the first one is paint mask and then vector mask, basically the same thing. So what it does, it gives you a mask over the content. So for example, if you are projecting on Windows, you can mask the windows out. So let me try to mask out the windows on the building, on the model. It takes a bit of a hit and try. You see that there is a black dot in the right hand corner, so I'm too far. So if I'm gonna try to mask it here, I'm almost there, so I just mask the window, maybe somewhere here. Oh, too far. So you get the idea. I can just mask the windows by painting it, or if you have something you want to paint in by hand because it's too difficult to mask out, you can do that, or you can choose lines. So for example, let's say somewhere here I want to make a line to mask out the building around for whatever reason. I can just do that by painting the mask like this, and to delete it I just change the color and paint the mask over again. Let's use the brush tool. So you see it kind of precise masking if you have something not really geometric. Then also there is a setting of how much of the content you see. So there is this bar. Let's go a bit back and delete this mask, and let me show you the last vector one. So now in the settings I go in the tool, and you see I have a vector mask, and now there is only a little square on the display. So let's say I want to see only projection on the building, so I just drag the points and the mask is going to start to cover all areas except of where I want to project on. I can add points, so if I want to add point somewhere here, I just click on adding point, then get back to the moving tool, and I want to make it pointy to the top. There we go. Really easy, straightforward. And if you want to invert this, basically just clicking by the button, you invert it. So you create the mask to cover only the building, and then you say, oh, actually I want to see the projection everywhere except of the building. So by doing that, you just click on invert. There is a little adjustment needed, of course, but you see, really straightforward. This works for the videos and for the pictures as well. And there is the drawing tool, so I can add another point and draw it, or I can click on by the drawing tool on the button, and it gives me more points. They are the Bezier warps. So I just go here, and it's twisting the line by just dragging the. So for if you are mapping something around it, this is amazing tool. So imagine you create a simple squared video in After Effects, and then by just doing this mask over, you don't have to really worry on what you're projecting, because this allows you to just adjust it directly in place. So there was the vector mask. Let's remove it again, and let's see if we have gotten something else. I think we are almost done actually. But there's a volume setting control as well, image brightness, fade in, gradient mask. There's quite a lot of tools you can use to play with the mapping super easily. Just a few more features. As I said, there is a there is an option for the layers. So if I'm just going to add a picture which I want to have behind the video. So I got these buttons, the move layer down, clicking it, and it's behind the video on the projection. And now I changed my mind and I want the picture in front, so I go and move the layer up and it's in front of the video. You can change the rotation, so I rotate the picture. It's rotating within the area, or I can change it by mirroring it. Last tool here is the copy. So I can, if I want to create more images, for example, if I have simple black and white animation and I want to mirror it, I can just do that by copying the image, and it's going to give me like a duplicate. And then, of course, last button is the close one. If I click on this, it's going to bring me back to the main screen. And by clicking on the power button, I turn off the Lumiverse. You will see a little note that Lumiverse is stopping, and that's it to it.
Thank you very much. I think you guys hear me. This was great, very thorough, and amazing demonstration of the technology. I wrote down all the questions from the chat. So if we are able to move there, it's gonna be pretty straightforward. We're gonna try to answer everything. A lot of questions were answered already by the LumiTRIX team in the chat, but we're going to go through everything. So everybody has the answers and everybody has the questions which were submitted, because there are some you may not know, and they are all great. Before we go to the questions and to the Q&A, I would just really quickly want to thank everybody who joined again, and especially the LumiTRIX team who's presenting. Big shout out to Daniel, who walked us through. Big shout out to Eva and Jiří, who are representing our business unit in the chat, and everybody else who helped us in the backstage. So thank you so much. It wouldn't be possible without you. And let's go to the Q&A. And then at the end, we would still like to talk to you a bit more. So let's keep on the line and let's do this. Let me share my presentation again, because I wrote all of the questions. I see we have a few more questions we're going to answer directly from the chat. So let me share my screen. Very good. So a laser source replacement. That is possible, but our laser source has minimum lifespan around 20,000 hours. So you can do the math. It's going to be after several years of use. So possible, but we don't know if it's going to be ever necessary, because it's really going to be after a long time. Maximum size of projection, actually unlimited. The fact that you can connect multiple projectors and create almost unlimited canvas or brightness doesn't limit us. So maximum size projection, maximum size budget. Basically, whatever money can buy, we can do. How much experience is needed to work with Lumiverse OS and LumiTRIX products? We trying to have the projection mapping as a standard for communication and provide it to all. We are really focused on the adoption of our technology. So it needs to be easy for everybody, so anybody can use it and do projects with it. So we are really focused on that. So we say that in time, less and less of experience with anything connected to projection mapping is needed to work with our technology. Strategy for the current situation, the lockdown period. I can say that it definitely affects us as it affects everybody. We focused on keeping the production running, keeping the very core things of the company, delivering what is needed so the business can continue. So right now, we don't do too many proactive initiatives. We are more right now trying to be stabilized in where we are and be able to provide support and new products from the existing line we have. So far, if you will be, if you will be still with us, we are here with you. Locking the projectors on the post or anywhere else, that again depends very much on the installation. Eva, very, very good work in the chat. Explanation, you can lock it. There is always a solution. But I think that this is more from like the threat of the technology being stolen. That is usually very much against the way how it's installed. So again, everything can be stolen, but our technology will definitely be problematic to do. Looking remote start stop on demand. Yes, we can do that. You can do it using the projection scheduler, or you can do it using the remote access. The only thing is devices needs to be connected to the internet. Our devices are IoT by definition, so needs to be connected to the internet to deliver the full experience. Can work without internet as well, but it's not the full experience. Content upload from any device which can run internet browser, because Lumiverse OS is web-based application, and it can run from basically any device which can run a browser, which means that any device which run browser, you can be able to upload your picture, probably even from a fridge, because these days even fridge has the Google Chrome. Design skills needed for Lumiverse content creation, not much, depends how great you want your design. Yes, Lumiverse is available on the phone. I saw that one popping up. If you are able to open a web browser on your phone, you are able to open Lumiverse. Background layer on the building for the layout, absolutely yes. Actually, built-in feature called Scan. You will be able to scan the building using our system to get pixel perfect PNG scan from which you can then lay out and create your animation over. How many points or angles we can use to adjust? I hope it was kind of shown during the demo. You can use 9 points if you are in the Bezier warp, and all the whole mesh. So you can really do. You have option to distort the image, to really map it on rounded objects, etc. T4 LAZR lumens, 1 unit 6,000, otherwise almost unlimited. We really can merge two projectors, connect multiple projectors to each other. That's really one of the biggest advantages. And that's what allows us to have custom layouts, custom sizes of pictures, and also custom kind of amount of lumens. As we are heading into the end, possibly. Yes, so I would like to just quickly go through the questions which are right now in the chat and then quickly wrap it up. So, on-site training programs near future. Yes, it will be. There is always a possibility of on-site trainings. And so far, please, that's one of the things I would like to do. Daniel Florea, Jiří Novacek, and Eva and me, we're going to drop our emails right now into the chat. So in case you have more detailed question, you would like to follow up with something, you have our email there. And for example, if we are talking about like, hey, can we do demo in real? Please contact us. We're gonna figure out something. There is info.LumiTRIX. There is Jiří Novacek, who is our head of business. There is Daniel. If you really want to talk to the awesome guy who did all of the presentation, reach out to us. Maximum down angle of the projector can be pointed to. Daniel, is it 9? Perfect. So quickly, last 3 questions. Question number 3, possible take onto plane. Yes, both devices possible take into the plane. They don't have battery in. So you can take them just for the T2. Definitely not carry on. It's gonna go into the cargo space. Um, More than one person access the system? Yes, definitely. Individual logging accounts, we do that. Each person has its own specific account. Can a remote content creator then upload a content directly onto the projector? Uh, yes, yes, remote access, absolutely possible. You can have your machine installed in United States. You can have that machine to be pointed on a building. The machine will do scan, and you can have a designer sitting in Mumbai, India, logging in into the machine remotely, downloading the scan, building the content, and uploading it back from Mumbai. Machine is in the US. No problem with that. We do this quite often. So I would like to close this webinar today, but before you guys leave us, I would really like to ask you for one favor. And it's something which will help us to do this better. And it's something which always really helps to people who work on something. If we can get a little bit of the feedback from you. Before you leave, can you please send to the email two things, two sentences? One, what do you like? What is the positive thing you like? What do you like about this presentation? Give us some, if you want to, give us some notes of encouragement. The second one, as we know that with the feedback, people need to improve. We really want to improve. So please, the second thing you want to do, can you write any type of delta, which means anything you think we could improve for the next presentation? So one plus, one delta, one thing which is positive, one thing which you think we should improve, and then have a beautiful day, guys and girls. Thanks everybody. Thank you for your notes, and as we mentioned, see you here next time.